Sometimes you just want to turn your brain off and chill for 20 minutes. So here are the 10 slice of life anime everyone's talking about right now. Let's go. I like eating. I like maids. So you can see how much I am hyped for this maid who likes to eat. Picture this. A maid gets stranded in Japan for a whole year, and instead of freaking out, she just decides to eat everything. That's Suzume Tachibana, our maid in training who works her way through taiyaki, melon bread, takoyaki, onigiri, basically anything with a wrapper on it. She's staying with her grandparents while her mansion back home gets fixed, and every episode's just her stumbling into some new snack and losing her mind over it. It's simple, it's cute, it works. Alright, this is pretty much CGDCT with a gourmet twist, and I'm okay with that. Ricotta is easily my favorite here. She's got this rich girl energy that plays off Suzume so well. The animation budget clearly went toward making every single snack look like the best thing you've ever seen. And honestly, mission accomplished. I watched this at night, and it's probably one of the biggest mistakes I've made because I slept feeling hungry. Here's a wild pitch to match something like Zom 100, the world already ended, and two girls are just going sightseeing anyway. Yuko and Ari bike through an empty, overgrown Japan, camping out, checking out old landmarks, and treating the apocalypse basically like the best road trip of their lives. There's barely any people left. No explanation of what happened, just two friends and their bikes rolling through ruins that nature's slowly taken back. It's part travelogue, part mystery, and it never rushes itself to explain itself. This is pretty much someone putting a slice of life spin on something like The Last of Us or the Metro game series, except this time you don't get zombies or monsters. Yep, the title's doing double duty in Japanese, shumatsu meaning both weekend and the end, and once you catch that, the whole show clicks into place. This is a weekend trip anime that just happens to be set after civilization collapsed.
Oh. これ見て。ルリコね。
Koyotaru is your classic burnt-out salaryman, and the one place he can actually breathe is his local ballpark. One night, a new beer vendor named Ruriko tries to sell him his first drink of the game. And that's basically the start of a whole found family situation. From there, it's less about the baseball and more about everyone who shows up in the stadium, the regulars, the staff, the diehard fans, all these little slices of life happening in the stands every single night.
お兄さん、ああいうほんわか系の子が好きなの？
いや、そういうわけでは。
The trailer sold this show trying to market this as some mini romance between the salaryman and Ruriko, but from the first episode itself, you could see this one has a big cast. But there are some really good stuff in here. One, the side characters here are genuinely the whole show. Everybody from the vendors to the security guards get their own little moment. Two, you don't need to know anything about baseball going in. I sure didn't, and I still followed everything easily. And Ruriko is the best girl of the show, and that's a fact.
おお、いかにも神様って感じ。
当然であろう。我山上ぞ。
山上さん。ちょっと抑えてくれません?
Minato's always been able to see spirits, mostly the friendly ones, and when his mom leaves him in charge of an empty countryside house, that talent gets put to real use. Turns out anything he writes by hand, on paper, on walls, anywhere, can exorcise evil spirits, which catches the attention of a wolf-like mountain god named Yamagami. Before long, the house turns into this hangout spot sitting right on the line between the human world and the divine one.
山上さん!
Yamagami is such a great anchor for this one. Gruff, mountain god energy, but he's clearly a softie underneath it. If you've ever liked Natsume Yujin Chiyo or Ancient Magus Bride for that gentle blend of folklore and slow life comfort, this scratches the exact same itch. It doesn't throw you into the high-stakes plot just because gods are involved. It's more about finding ways gods could hang out in a countryside house.
失礼します。
お紙やすり
Wakana runs a little laundry shop called Kinmei Cleaning in the seaside town of Atami, and she's got no memory of her life before she got there 2 years ago. What she does have is this incredible gentleness with the clothes people bring her, and each cloth she washes tells a story. She doesn't remember her own past, so she's trying to build a life with the people around her.
今度学校のカバンきれいにしてもらってもいいですか
金目にお任せください。
I think the show balances the whole slices of life and fan service really well. It's quietly beautiful stuff, at least from the angle you look at it. What really gets me is how much care goes into the actual cleaning process. The machines, the technique, the whole rhythm of running a small business. There are also some subtle hints of romance here and there, so if that's your thing, you get some satisfaction there too.
私、女じゃなくて泥棒猫ナミっていうの。私の宝石を盗むなんて。
This one's a full anthology built entirely around the women of One Piece finally getting the spotlight. Nami stars in her own fashion show. Robin teams up with Koala and Sabo to decode an ancient tablet. Vivi gets a mysterious love letter, and Perona throws down with Zoro and Mihawk over the last bottle of wine.
クラッチ
One Piece fandom has always been complaining that the girls haven't been getting the spotlight much after the time skip. Well, here you go. You get some baddies straight to your face. This is less about the big pirate saga, more just hanging out with these characters in smaller everyday moments we don't usually get to see. Do you love Nami's chaos? Do you love Robin being effortlessly cool? Do you love Perona just being unhinged over wine? This is basically 4 mini slice of life stories stitched together, straight from Oda's own novel.
ねえ、課題もう終わりなんだったら。私にちょっと付き合わない？
Drunk Botan's a 20-year-old college freshman who moves into a dorm and ends up bonding with her upperclassmen the old-fashioned way, over drinks. Every episode centers on a different drink, sake, whiskey, wine, and pairs it with music, movies, and some cultural rabbit hole that fits the mood. It sounds simple, but each drink ends up tied directly to a character's personality or whatever they're feeling that night, so it's less drinking anime and more vibes anime, with alcohol as the theme.
私はずっと一人飲み。でもこのことならとうかつにも思ってしまったのはきっと。
Well, alcoholics, it's finally time to get your representation card in anime. Jokes aside, Studio Seogone did Mono last year, one of the best looking shows of that whole season. And they brought that same production polish here. Different ED, animation style every single episode, which is such a fun flex. It's also got a strong Yuri through line, if that's your thing, genuinely sweet chemistry between the girls. Combine cute girls, gorgeous art, and good drinks, and you've basically built the perfect Tuesday night anime.
それじゃあ改めて村長の平倉大樹の村にようこそ
For those who forgot about Season 1 faster than Game of Thrones writers forgot character arcs, here's a quick recap. Hiraku worked himself into an early grave at a brutal Japanese company, and when he died, a god felt so bad about it that he offered him a redo. Hiraku's wishes were simple: a healthy body, a peaceful life, and the chance to actually farm. So he gets dropped into a forest with a magic all-purpose farming tool. From there, he befriends wolves, takes in a vampire and an angel, and turns slowly his little farm into an entire village.
みんなで作った大樹の村の村長になった
Season 2 just keeps doing what Season 1 did best. Watching this guy solve tiny logistical problems around the village scratches the exact same itch as a city building game. Everyone in the cast is genuinely likable too, which honestly isn't a given in this genre. At this point, this is pretty much Stardew Valley turned into an anime with some anime girls in it, and I'm all in for it.
隅っこに何か
Remember Iori, the guy who just wanted a normal college life and instead moved into his uncle's dive shop, only to get dragged into Peekaboo, a diving club that's way more interested in drinking and losing their clothes than actually diving? Season 3 picks up with Iori, Chisa, and Kohei, and the rest of the chaotic crew still stumbling through college life in Izu, still getting roped into insane drinking games, and still somehow finding time to actually love the ocean. This is easily one of the funniest slice of life shows out there. The comedic timing on the drunk antics is genuinely unmatched. Nobody does chaotic college guy energy like this cast. Zero G and Saberworks are back on animation duty, so expect that same great comedic energy in the visuals. And the good old naked guys and really angry Chisa. Season 2 dropped out of nowhere, and we are so lucky to get Season 3 back to back, so give this one a go.
食べてみたかったんだこれ。ありがとう佐々木さん。そんなとこいないでこっちで吸いなよ。
おじさんチョイスのお菓子が受けたぞ。田山さん、一周回ってこういうの。
We talked about alcohol, so why not finish with smoking? Sasaki's stuck at a soul-crushing job, and the only bright spot in his day is catching a smile from Yamada, the cashier at his local supermarket. One night, her shift's already over by the time he shows up, so he heads out back for a cigarette instead, and that's where he meets Tayama, a co-worker of Yamada's who's a little too observant for her own good. She clocks exactly why he keeps coming around, and somehow the two decide to share their troubles during a smoke.
田山ちゃんから聞きました。私のファンだって。お客様？
What I love about this one is how much it says without saying much at all. Half the show's just two people leaning against a wall on a smoke break, and somehow that's enough to build a whole relationship out of. Both Sasaki and Yamada come with these little hints of a past they're not talking about yet, and I'm hooking on piecing it together one cigarette at a time. Zutu Mayo's opening theme is the perfect late night mood setter too, and I'm saying it, this is the most stylistic anime of this year.